To access the book page editor, click on a thumbnail in the OfficeCam software. I typically scroll up the thumbnails to start at the beginning. Click Next on any blank page. These blank pages will be removed automatically when I export the job. Now comes the most time-consuming part of the scanning process: editing the wonky pages. The camera invariably captures the image correctly, but the software doesn't always process it as you'd hope. So you need to check for the straightness of text on every page. For each page, use your eyes to look at the page to see if the outer edges are even and square, and everything has been captured. If anything appears to be wrong, you'll have to either click the Edit button or click on the thumbnail image at the top right. This video goes through some of an 85-page newspaper plus peripheral articles. I won't describe each page, but I will describe the main things I'm looking for and what I do to correct those inconsistencies. I notice that the left edge appears to be missing, so I open that page in editing mode. Notice the green and white dots across the top and bottom? This is the software's attempt at outlining the edges of the page based on what it thinks are the page's curves. But it's completely missed that left edge. I could drag those individual dots out to the edge, but that's very time-consuming and doesn't always give the result you want. So the first thing I try is straight fitting, which will fix most issues. The green dotted lines change to solid green lines, and if I wanted to get finer accuracy, I can click and drag the white dots at the ends of those lines to another position. However, for an ad that won't even be searchable, this is good enough. Once I'm satisfied with a page, I click Save, then click Next to go to the next page. I can always return to a page during this process, up until the time I clear the whole job. You'll notice that I skip most of the ads. It's not that they don't have information in them, but the typefaces and font sizes used just don't get recognized when making a searchable PDF. You may also notice that the edge of the glass I use to flatten the gutter mostly sits inside the white space between the columns. And I use the straight fitting option to make sure the page's edges are captured. Where necessary, I click and drag the mouse to move the ends of the green lines into a better position. Just a note about OCR. OCR doesn't work very well, or at all, on text that's out of alignment, or that uses odd fonts, particularly the sorts of fonts used by advertisers and graphic designers. So don't expect that everything you've scanned will become searchable, even if you've set OfficeCam to create a searchable PDF from the images. The most likely candidates for good OCR are plain text with good contrast, e.g. black on white. Newspapers with lots of graphic advertising, such as the ones I'm scanning, will never give you a 100% OCR result. In fact, 50% would be an excellent result. However, you can improve the chances of getting a good result on the plain text by making sure that it is as straight as possible. This is where the settings on the book page editor come in, particularly the straight fitting option. Note, because you are creating the searchable PDF from these images in OfficeCam, you must do these corrections before you export the job. You cannot correct them in the PDF afterwards, without doing an enormous amount of manual work. This example newspaper is 85 pages, so I've chopped out quite a bit, as you should now have a good understanding of what to do. Those 85 pages took about 12 minutes to check and edit. I've made separate videos of the worst examples of wonky pages and how to correct them. You might wonder why I've moved the white dots on this page a tad. It's so that someone looking at it in the future doesn't think there's information missing. By moving those dots, I'm adding a touch of black edge around the two clipped articles so that it's clear that that's all there is. Once you've checked every page and adjusted it as necessary, click Exit. You're now ready to export the job. Double-check that the output format is set to PDF searchable, the prefix information is correct, and the output folder is set. Then click Export at the top right. If this is the first time you've exported in the current session, you'll need to check the Remove Blank Pages box. Leave all other settings as they are, then click Export. The first stage of the export removes what the software deems as blank pages. Then you get a progress window telling you how many pages are being exported and the progress of the export. Exporting only takes a few minutes.